was struggling. But had I have known, if there was a premonition that said to me, that's manifested for you, that's going to happen, it's written, I could have enjoyed the ride. So what it did for me was to understand that my next point in time is already written. It's going to happen. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to enjoy the ride anyway, because I'm going to reach that destination. And that's on the earthly level. On the spiritual level, and we have to understand there's a relationship between the earthly level and the spiritual. In the earthly level, they call it branches, and in the higher level, they call it roots. You'd think it would be the other way around. Okay. But it's a communication. Whatever is on the level of the branches is on the level of the roots, but on a different dimension, a different way. What you feel in the upper level is not what you feel in the lower level. But there is nothing, absolutely nothing earthly that doesn't have a root in the spiritual level, because it's God manifesting. This has a root. It came through the light. When God says, let there be light, there was light. This could not have been manifested without that light. Quantum physics talks about it today.
Yeah.
So to understand manifestation, you have to understand that there's a root.
So it's manifested already. It basically you're saying that everything is we're not doing the manifestation. God basically manifested whatever is here for us, and then we're manifesting the way we feel towards it. Like how do you basically you said before that's the seeds in the ground. How do we water those seeds? Because okay, got it. We don't do the material manifesting. Whatever's there is there, and then we water those seeds and they grow into plant because they also might not grow. So how do we water those seeds that were manifested?
With love and passion. It's the way I speak to my plants. I was never successful with plants. And now for 3 years, I have these thriving plants because I've been talking to them, I've been watering them. It's a state of being. It's what you transmit. You are a transmitter. Everything is wavelengths. So a wavelength has a broadcaster and a collector. And that's what it is. But there's this light in the middle. And it's all there. Anything I can imagine already exists, but is it meant for me? And you understand in that level, you understand that things that don't turn out for you is because God's protecting you. Not meant to be. God forbid if it did. You might not be able to handle it. And this is the other thing. You will never be given anything that you can't handle. So what happens is I go first to that space to say, oh, well, he gave this to me. He knows I can handle it. And then I'm already calm. And now I don't have to solve the problem anymore. I just have to meet it. So when we come to manifestation, it's like, again, reverse traffic. What came first? The magnetic field came first. We're looking at something. But that something is a reaction of a magnetic field. We talk about molecules and space and time. The only thing that moves in space and time is your state of being. Everything else is static. If you're looking at a chair that's a bit crooked and you're saying, oh God, I won't rest until I straighten that chair. Chair doesn't care. This is moving in time and space. The chair isn't. It doesn't have an opinion, doesn't care. It's all us.
Got it. So moving forward in life, if someone thinks he could manifest something that is material, he would only be manifested if it's on the path for them. And the only thing that we can do is basically be manifest the way we feel towards things or the way we experience whatever it is that comes for us. Because you're saying it's for us, like it's a special order, right? Whatever comes in our life, it's tailored specifically for us. And this I think is a challenge, but challenges are good, is basically what we're trying to manifest is not to react and try to push it away or to, freeze in our spot and say, no, this can't happen. This is say, okay, this happened to me. Stay like you do to your plants in a place of love and compassion, and accept whatever it is that comes. And maybe that kind of buys for us that I'm saying it's easy to say and harder to do, but that freedom of being. So we just, whatever comes towards us, we're like you're planting your plants with love and compassion. We plant ourselves, understanding that it meant for us because it came to us.
And not only that, it's meant for your surroundings as well, because what comes to you includes everybody else embroidering it. So you're the main character in your play, they're the main character in their play. But
Yeah.
everyone is a sub character for us. Okay. So at the end of the day, when we talk about love and compassion, what do you think the ultimate goal is? What are we here to achieve
To
ultimately?
I believe it's to experience whatever unfolds in front of us out of a place of surrender and being grateful
But
and
why?
not why we're doing that.
Why? What are we striving for? What do we want to do? What is our ultimate goal? We came from there. We just
Yeah.
got lost on the way. What do we want? Not talking about the ego's want. The soul's journey.
Well, I believe the soul is something much bigger than what happens here. I'd love to hear what you have to say, but I believe that we're all here to serve a purpose that is greater than ourselves. And maybe the way through we experience life, that's each person in their way that they serve. But we'd love to
So
hear whatever you think.
it's twofold. First of all, we're here to express and not impress. We've been given gifts, express it. That's giving the fruit of the tree. If I'm concerned with impressing, I'm condensed, going to backfire. But the ultimate goal is to align with God's traits because we want to be like him. So he's compassionate and he's love and he's light. That's what I want because I want to be free. So that's the ultimate goal, to be like him. So when he creates the first time and he says, come, let us make a vessel. Bo nase Adam betzalmenu. Let's make a vessel that includes all of us, including himself. So he creates this vessel called Adam. And all souls ever in existence go into this vessel. So we're all one in that vessel. And then God looks and he says, oh God, I've created all this stuff and nothing's happening. This guy's just walking around. It's not doing anything. I'm going to have to push him. So the first thing he says is, it's not good for a man to be on his own. He needs a woman. Now, this is interesting. He doesn't say to the woman, he says to the man. Women know how to be on their own. The burden's more on the man. And then so he takes out one rib. He actually takes out a soul from this vessel. And he calls her in Hebrew Chava, from the word Chavaya. He calls her Chavaya is experience together with God. Chavaya. So he already understands for himself that without the experience, there'll be no knowledge. But how does he get her to have an experience? He's going to have to go through the other side of it. He's going to say, don't touch that tree. So what happens when somebody says, don't think of a pink elephant? You can't not. So he's already programmed. Don't touch that tree. And of course, the serpent comes along. You got to have this fruit of this tree. You can't believe what's happening here. It's just amazing. You've got to have it. Of course, it's not an apple. She takes a taste of this and she wakes up into an experience. It says, Verata kitov. She saw that it was good. This is the first ever experience of the human race. This is when the human race DNA starts, because there's a physical entity. She had an experience. And then she says, oh God, Adam. Adam is every other soul to all of us. She says, you've got to have this. You can't imagine what this is. It's just amazing, because there was no experience before. And they do, and they experience. And at that moment, that vessel can't hold water the same way it did. So it splits up. Now our journey begins. And we become egotistical because all we can do is think about our own survival. We're on our own now. We were together. We didn't know what it was to have an experience. Now we're on our own. And now we start our journey. The thing is that when God builds this prototype, the first physical prototype, he gives her something that separates her from him and everyone else. He gives her free choice. But the free choice isn't about which dress shall I wear. It's shall I go with the duo, the mind ego, where I'm going to be in this constant struggle, or shall I bungee jump into God without knowing what's going to happen, but feel peace and surrender the control. And then all I'm left with is, how do I want to experience myself? What do I want to be being and doing? In the surrender mode, which means I'm not in charge of the results, but I am in charge of the way I feel about me, and I'm going to enjoy the journey. And then who cares about manifestation? Because if I'm enjoying the journey, it doesn't fucking matter. Excuse my French. English people always use bad words and blame the French. So that's what it is. That's what it is. And the ultimate goal is to be one. That's the ultimate goal. Because anything else is a struggle. I don't want to struggle anymore. What have I got?
Manifestation is also a struggle, based on what you're saying now.
If you choose the mind ego, yes. But it's a choice. Use your free choice.
So it is a struggle, or is it not a struggle, manifestation?
It's a struggle if you're going through the ego. If you're going through surrender and then something happens, wow, amazing.
Going through the ego means like trying to manifest like a certain material object or
Not just
relationship, anything.
a relationship, anything that you are chasing is a struggle. I want to be the flower, not the bee. Let the bees come to me. Why do I? It's much more powerful to be whole within yourself, and then the right things come to you. But if you're running after something, now it doesn't mean don't do, it doesn't mean sit on your ass and don't do anything. So you get an idea, excitement rises, then you move. You do. But don't move on everything that just comes across. You go crazy. And you want to stick to your lane. You don't want to see what other people, how other people are doing it, because that's the way they're supposed to.
Yeah, no room for comparison.
And not only that, because the earthly level of defining success is not the spiritual level of success. What is success? If I don't get up in the morning and feel good, and I'm in surrender to God, and I'm enlightened, I'm not successful. I've seen people live in castles unhappy. We know that about the British royal family.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much money you have. You're not feeling the wealth. You're not feeling the good stuff about that earthly money. You can be on a desert island and find this treasure with billions of dollars inside it. What are you going to do? You're going to burn a fire and use it. That would be your wealth. You managed to find something to light a fire.
Yeah, I think it's much more relevant to emphasize to work or to manifest the way we experience life. Because like you said, whatever meant to be will be, and whatever not. For me, sometimes people, they see it as like giving up. As you know, like I'm single, and like I told people, listen, I have my path in life. If I meant to be, not like I don't want to suffer every day until whoever it is comes. And they tell me, why? Like you're giving up, like you don't want to get married, you don't want a family. I said, I didn't say that. I said that I have a path in life. It might be part of my path, might not. Meanwhile, I want to wake up out of a place of, I'm saying thank you to God to whatever He gave me and trying to experience whatever unfolds in front of me in a different day, in a different way. Now, every day.
What if you're not meant to be in a relationship or at this moment in time, Or maybe it'll be when you'll be 70. I don't know, because the right time, if you're supposed to be, is going to come across, because that person can only appear then.
Yeah. And that's
Okay.
what I'm saying. Meanwhile, I want to enjoy life. I don't want to be in a suffering state that, like, this has to happen. And then I'm working against God. And it's like, it's not, this doesn't work.
And it could be, by the way, I say this to women who go through hell to try and get pregnant. When I was in the industry, I used to say to my artists, do you want to take out a CD? It was CDs at the time. Do you want to release a CD, or do you want to be the artist? It's two different things.
Hmm.
Do you want to be pregnant, or do you want to be a mother? Two different things, because people are looking about, but does it really suit you to be a mother? Number one. But the beginning of life and the end of life, nothing to do with us. If a child is meant to come into this world, I've seen condoms tear. I've seen women on pills getting pregnant. If God wants a child to come out, that child will come out. He doesn't ask your permission. It's nothing to do with you. So the struggle of thinking I've seen women waste 10 years of their lives with all this IVF, or whatever you call it, all this stuff, and they could have enjoyed their lives. And
Yeah.
what if you're not supposed to have a child in this lifetime? Or what if you're supposed to have it much later on? Enjoy the ride. What if
Yeah.
you had 12 children in the past life and you're not supposed to have another one right now? That's the enigma. That's the place we don't know. And to surrender the not knowing, but not lay a condition on life to say, I can't live my life because I need that, then I just missed my life. And what if I die tomorrow? How have I spent my last day? Worrying about something I think I should have had? I don't want to do that. And some people say, oh, but Ronny, you've been there, done that. You're a grandma now. You've had children. You've had this. But that was my calling. Those kids had to come out. They had to come out through me, through my ex. Didn't mean we had to stay together. We had our own workshop to go through. But those children had to come out. And we cannot save somebody from their lessons. We can't. The other day, a very good friend of mine said, Ronny, can I take you off my prayer list? You look pretty healthy now. And I said, yes, please. I don't want her to keep thinking I'm ill.
Yeah.
But we radiate to the other side.
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
So,
100%.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. That's a lot of value over here. Thank you very much. And I'm reminding everyone, number one, it's a practice. So if we live through resistance to life many years, I don't think it would be one morning. Let's start practicing in the small things of, letting go of what we think needs to happen. And let's experience whatever happens out of, love and compassion, connectedness. And like I said, if you go send me a link, the English one for your book. I read it. It's a great book. I really recommend.
Thank you. We're
So
working on the second one, 23 years later. I do my own little books, but Sach Sivan, who wrote the first one with me, for some reason, and I kept saying, come on, Sach, let's write the second book. He says, I can't. And suddenly he picks up the phone. He says, I think it's time. And that's exactly it. Because his excitement came from another space that said, it's time to write that other book now. So that's what we
nice.
have to understand. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Looking forward. And
Thank you.
again, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Looking forward to hear more. And I really recommend, first people that, you listen to this, you can also go through the video and start practicing. And number two, go more into Ronny materials and contact her. She can help you more. So again, Ronny, thank you very much. Thank you for your
Thank
time, for
you.
your wisdom, and we'll be in touch. Have a beautiful day.
And by the way, your name, Yair, to enlighten.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye. Hi, I hope you enjoyed the video and you got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. For us to help other people, please press that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget that the most amazing things in life are the one you take for granted.